Hey kids, welcome to week 6. I believe it's week 6. Yeah, welcome to week 6. I apologize if you can hear humming in the background. It is not lawn day, but for some reason, there are motorcycles outside. I can't think of lawnmowers. Lawnmowers, that's the proper word. So I'm sure you can already tell, but this week is going to look a little bit different from any other week that I've done thus far. I know at the end of last week, I said that I would be changing up the format, the formula of these things, trying to figure out what exactly I like. This is probably not it. I'm currently just having a really bad week aesthetically. That is to say that I am just struggling with my hair and my whole appearance, and I just could not be on camera. I tried to shoot a talking head. I tried to shoot a couple of them, but when I went to try to edit them, I was not happy. Look, I admit freely to having a lot of self-worth issues that are tied into my appearance. And I will also admit that I don't know anyone meaner to me than me. So, in effort to balance my mental health and self-love, I've decided that I won't be on camera this week in any capacity that will make me hate myself, because look, I'm too old for that. And I really believe in giving yourself every opportunity to be okay. And if not being on camera is gonna help me be okay, then that's what's gonna happen. I hope you guys are okay with that. And even if you're not, it's not about you. I have to do this for me. But that doesn't mean that I was idle all week. Actually, I was very much not idle all week. I did so many things this week. That being said, I feel like I got very little done. You know, when you're just so busy and you have a lot of tasks, but you don't complete any of them? I mean, personal tasks. I definitely completed work tasks. But for my creativity, not so much. This week, I will admit I was not the best at getting writing done. The scene that I have walked into has become a bit of a hurdle because, as I've said several times, 1, I write chronologically, and 2, this is not the first time that I'm writing this story. So I have already written the scene that I am trying to rewrite right now several years ago. And so it's really difficult for me to find the balance of how my characters as who they are now will react to the situation that they need to be faced with. And also, there's a whole character who is now getting their introduction. A whole character that the readers have not seen up until this point, but who is a very integral character to the novel, who is appearing. And because I haven't spent any time with this character, I'm not really sure how to come about this new character. I was actually talking about it with one of my best friends yesterday and explaining to her all of what the story used to look like and what I'm trying to get it to look like now. And she was pretty excited. She liked it. She is not a reader for pleasure. She's very much like, I'd watch that if that was on TV, which is still high praise because, you know, good TV is just good writing. So yay. But it is a little difficult to figure out where to go from here, how to proceed. So I've been fighting tooth and nail day and day, scraping paragraphs together in hours, legit doing 3 paragraphs in an hour just because I'm trying to figure out how to come upon this new situation. I'm sorry, I know I'm talking again in a lot of themes that are not really grounded in anything, but that's what it is. I can't share more than that. Just to know that I'm gonna hopefully get through this quickly. Yeah, that's the hope. What I can share with you about the different things that I did this week, I did a lot of drawing this week, actually, especially in the beginning of the week. I was finalizing some presents for some people in my life, and they're getting art for Christmas, and I'm not going to share that with you until possibly after Christmas, just because I'm personally really proud of them, but the people they're for might watch this, so you can wait for like 2 more weeks, but I personally think they're pretty cool. But I was also just doodling, like in the time that I was trying to figure out what to draw for the people that I love, I was just like doing a lot of silly stuff like this, and this, and this, which was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna knock it. It was a lot of fun, but not what I ended up needing. But, you know, maybe one of these will show up as a transition card, because I really like using drawings as transition cards, as I'm sure you can tell already. Oh man, that last one. The lisp is real strong. I hope you're enjoying this. I could take out my liners, but I'm not going to. You know why? Because that is a lot of work. The dentures stay in. I've also been doing some reading. I know you've seen my bookshelf in a couple of shots, and it is covered in books that belong to me and my husband. So there's comic books, there's fiction books, non-fiction books, Bibles, there's gag novels, cookbooks, there are classics, there are not what's the opposite of classics? Like, if it's a classic, it's a classic, but if it's not a classic, is it a contemporary? There's contemporaries. There you go. Some of our own writing. I'm looking at it right now. There's a Norman Rockwell picture book. I really like that book. But I will tell you a little secret about our bookshelf. I have not read all of the books on there that belong to me. As a matter of fact, I have another bookshelf at work that I have other books that I also have never read. I had to, a couple years ago, tell myself I was not allowed to buy a single book until I finished a single book of the books that I bought without reading. Which, I mean, that's fair. I haven't had time in real life to read. Like, life is so busy and I work kind of far from where I live, so I mean, I guess audiobooks are a thing. I just, you know, haven't done that because as much as I really appreciate audiobooks, I have to also follow along with the book because otherwise my mind just wanders and then suddenly we're 3 pages away from the last thing I remembered and I can't remember what's going on. So I picked up one of the books that were on my shelf. It's actually something that I got while I was still in school a decade ago. I wasn't a terrible student, but if I was assigned a book, I did not read it. Why? Because I don't like to be told what to do when it comes to reading. I want to read what I want to read. So I like own a lot of books that I've never read, but I still have. So I am going through a couple of the books that are on my shelf and just getting through them with the help of an audiobook system. Scribd, actually. Non-sponsored. Honestly, the audiobook helps so much because I am so finicky when it comes to writing styles, and if I don't like how a thing is written, I'm not gonna get through it. I am not one of those people that are like, no, you started it, you have to finish it. I used to be that person. I'm not that person anymore. That being said, another thing that I've done this week is start a new Korean drama. New for me. It's not actually new. Which is kind of upsetting to a couple of my friends because I was watching through It's Okay Not to Be Okay, which is excellent, but also I have a bit of a consumption problem, meaning to say the first time I watched it, I watched 11 episodes in one day. So I put on the brakes, as is smart. But I also have a problem where if I like reach a plateau or if I don't go back to something in a certain window of time, I'm probably never gonna go back to it. And the show is so good and I really want to finish it, but this week I was just feeling kind of like bummy about my appearance, about not being able to move forward the novel. If you know anything about dramas, and especially dramas that deal with the themes that are in this one, yo, you're not going into a happiness fun time, and I just was not in the mood to kind of battle with self, so I did not. And instead, I started a drama that was new to me, that I've been meaning to watch for a couple of years anyway, which is What's Wrong with Secretary Kim? And immediately I was like, this is so dumb and fun. Like, it's silly, it's great. But before the first episode was over, I was also like, oh, wow, we got some trauma that is not very far buried. This is gonna be interesting. And that was yesterday, and I'm on episode 9 now. That's pretty much all for this week. I think hopefully next week I'll be feeling a little better and chill about putting my face up here. And if not, I'm gonna need to work through some things because we can't go more than a week hating ourselves. Like, legitimately, kids, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, talk to someone. Someone not on the internet. Talk to someone in your life. I mean, I guess, you know, we're in quarantine and you gotta use the internet to talk to basically anyone. So, hey, do that. But I guess that's all for today. I am extremely hungry. I have not eaten yet today because I was doing other things. And when I get super hyper-focused, I don't forget to eat. I willfully don't. I'm like, oh, I'll eat as soon as I finish this portion of it. And it's like 2 hours later because I'm the slowest worker in my entire... See? You just gotta stop yourself when you start beating on yourself. Don't do it. Just don't. You don't need to. You don't need to. You don't. I'm looking at my notes and I have nothing else to say. I'm looking at the recording and it says that I'm almost at 18 minutes, which I'm very sure is not how long this is going to be because, again, I cannot edit myself for that long. It's not going to happen. So, this has been an adventure, I think. Possibly. Oh man, I really have to stop going because I'm going to have to edit all of this audio. So anyway, I would just like to say, thanks for being here and thanks for sitting through this video. I really appreciate your time. To my future self, the world's gonna beat you down enough. You don't have to help it. For real. You don't. Okay, kids, that's all. I will see you next week.